Last night, just as I was about to lay down and get ready for bed, the news broke that Val Kilmer sadly passed away at the age of 65. And I put out a video about it, and to my surprise, I didn't realize how many people did not know that Val Kilmer had been struggling with throat cancer and all type of health issues over recent years. You know, sometimes we have these Hollywood actors, these legends that kind of disappear from the limelight, but people kind of don't notice because you're still watching their movies. You know what I mean? Some people didn't notice that Val Kilmer kind of disappeared out of the spotlight because they're still watching Val Kilmer movies every couple of weeks. So sometimes these people kind of fade out, and it takes you years to actually realize, hey, what happened to this guy? What happened to that guy or that actress? Or you guys get what I'm saying here. And I think that's the case with many people when it comes to Val Kilmer, because he has a lot of memorable roles in movies that are rewatchable. Like, how many times have you watched Top Gun? Man, I've seen that movie at least like 5, 6 dozen times, probably 100 times at least. And that's not an exaggeration. But yeah, a lot of people didn't realize that he was kind of silently struggling with health issues for years now. Recently, he actually put out a documentary about his life. It's really interesting. Go check it out if you have time. But of course, he recently also reprised his role as Iceman in the Top Gun franchise. He was in the new Top Gun Maverick movie. But a lot of people didn't realize that in that movie, they actually used a AI version of his voice because he has trouble breathing. He has trouble talking, if he can talk at all. And he had been battling with throat cancer for a while, and he was an extremely religious guy. He often would talk about how his faith and prayers, that's what really got him through throat cancer. It wasn't any of the medical treatments, which he refused a lot of medical treatments at first. He said, I'm just writing this thing out on prayers. So he always stuck by how important prayers and how important his religion was, and what an important role it played in his recovery from throat cancer. So he had been battling a lot. And of course, they say the cause of death is pneumonia. It was totally unexpected for me. I knew that he was dealing with health issues, but still a relatively young guy at 65. It may sound old to some, but that's young these days, right? But I started going through his social media and stuff last night after I recorded that video, and I came across the last video that he put out before his death. And I want to go ahead and show you all that video right here. He posted this on his Instagram just a couple of weeks ago. Let's check it out, and then I'll be right back with more.
All right.
I'm ready.
You're ready.
Yes, sir. I have an article for us. It's been a while.
Oh, you look great.
Look, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Batman Forever gets too much unneeded hate. Val Kilmer was great as Batman, and Val Kilmer was a damn good Bruce Wayne. And look, if you did not grow up around that time, if you weren't interested in pop culture around that time, if you're someone who never watched the movie and you tried to watch the movie now, you simply would not understand. Okay? You just had to be there. It's one of those things where you had to be there. Batman Forever was one of the greatest moments in pop culture history. Everywhere you went, it was Batman Forever something. Batman Forever Pop-Tarts. Batman Forever Happy Meals. Batman Forever action figures and blankets and bouncy balls. It was just it was a very memorable moment for me as a kid. And a lot of people say that, Batman Forever is one of the roles that kind of killed Val Kilmer's career. So I do think it's kind of ironic that, his last video is him donning the Batman mask again for one last time. And for me, Batman Forever and his role as Iceman in Top Gun, that's his two top roles for me. Now, don't get me wrong, he has a lot of other great movies, but those were the movies I watched the most. In fact, one of Val Kilmer's co-stars in Batman Forever was Jim Carrey, who played the Riddler. And he just spoke out about Val Kilmer's death. Let's look at what he had to say. I'm remembering Val Kilmer today with great admiration for him as a man and as a generational talent who left us an enviable legacy of indelible acting performances. His greatest artistic achievements were rivaled only by the grace and courage with which he endured his life's most challenging moments, wishing his family so much love. A lot of celebrities have been pouring out thoughts and well wishes for Val Kilmer, and Cher, who actually, was in a relationship with Val back in the day, she just broke her silence about this overall situation. I want to go ahead and dive into this article really quickly. Cher is paying tribute to her ex-boyfriend Val Kilmer following the actor's death from pneumonia. The Top Gun star who battled throat cancer died at age 65 on Tuesday. Valis, the Turn Back Time singer 78, wrote via X on Wednesday, "We will miss you. You were funny, crazy, pain in the ass, great friend, kids love you." The Oscar-winning actress also mentioned Kilmer's performance as Mark Twain in the 2012 stage production Citizen Twain, as well as the Top Gun star's lengthy battle with throat cancer. "Brilliant as Mark Twain," Cher added. "Brave here during your sickness." Kilmer's death comes 8 years after the Doors actor confirmed his throat cancer diagnosis. "He was probably trying to help me because press probably asked where I was these days, and I did have a healing of cancer, but my tongue is still swollen, although healing at the time," he said in April 2017. "Because I don't sound my normal self yet, people think I may still be under the weather." 3 years later, in his 2020 memoir, I'm Your Huckleberry, Kilmer said that Cher supported him amid his health woes. "One night I suddenly awoke vomiting blood that covered the bed like a scene out of The Godfather. I prayed immediately, then called 911. Then alerted my hostess. Cher stepped in and Cher stepped up," Kilmer wrote. "And yet, even in my grave condition, I saw her scanning the paramedic, who was Gregory Peck, drop dead handsome. Only in Hollywood, right?" he continued. "Despite the fact that I was covered in blood, I caught her eye and bounced my brows like Groucho Marx, hubba hubba." Cher was bashful to be busted, but then couldn't help laughing out loud at the audacity, Kilmer added at the time. "Here we are joking about beauty and desire, while I looked like a stuntman from Tarantino's Reservoir Dogs, and yes, my life seemed to be in mortal danger. We laughed out loud before they finished with my vitals and shut me up with an oxygen mask." Cher also discussed helping take care of Kilmer during an interview with People in 2021. "He was at my house a lot of the time he was sick. He was brave the whole time," she said. "I saw how sick he was. Once when the paramedics showed up after he was so sick and coughing up blood, he looked at me and I looked at him and we both knew what we were thinking. Because those guys are so handsome," the Moonstruck star continued. "When one of those paramedics comes to your house, you just know you're going to see somebody who's really cute." Cher and Kilmer met at a party in the early 80s, becoming friends because they laughed at the same things constantly. They dated for 2 years before splitting in 1984. I was madly in love with Val Kilmer and he left because sometimes you're only meant to stay with someone for so long, she told Howard Stern in 2024. Val was really young. Kilmer also famously dated Carly Simon and Ellen Barkin before his marriage to Joanne Wiley. He married the English actress in 1988 before the pair divorced in 1996. After 12 years of marriage, they welcomed daughter Mercedes, age 33, in 1991, and son Jack, 29, in 1995. Kilmer was later linked to Cindy Crawford, Daryl Hannah, and Angelina Jolie. Cher, for her part, dated Kilmer's Top Gun star, our co-star Tom Cruise, when she was 39 and Cruise was 23. The singer's current boyfriend, Alexander A.E. Edwards, is 38, and he is a music executive that is 40 years her junior. Okay, so needless to say that Val Kilmer got around in his day, okay? Val Kilmer had a lot of the top actresses on his arm, but Cher is like 80 years old, still getting around with young men. Very interesting, but I think it's nice that Val and Cher had that type of connection. And it's nice to hear that she was there for him, even later in life. They're not together in a relationship or anything, but they remained good friends. And oftentimes when he was down bad, not feeling well, he would stay with Cher. These are details that I never knew. And I find that connection is interesting and beautiful in a way as well. Hearing about how they knew what each other was thinking and stuff like that. I'm just glad to know that Val Kilmer had people that were there for him as he was dealing with these health struggles, because often we hear about cases where people have no one. Val Kilmer actually had a family that was on top of things, had family and friends that cared for him, which is totally the opposite of what we kind of saw with Gene Hackman recently, who had a loving and caring wife, but didn't have anyone else really close to him that was checking up on him on a routine basis. Therefore, him and his wife were dead in their home for like over a week before their bodies were discovered. So I'm just glad that throughout Val Kilmer's struggles that he had people who were there by his side, not only his kids, but even ex-girlfriends like Cher of all people. But definitely sad he's gone. His legacy will live on through his movies. Let me know your thoughts about this. Let me know your favorite Val Kilmer movies. Drop your favorite Val Kilmer lines down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.